Three, two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, TikTok? What's up, YouTube? Uh, Good to see you guys. We're back again with another episode of Rose Reads. So we're going to continue with Babystep Millionaires. And it's just we're on a 3-page set of notes. And we're in the middle of the first page. And we're going to keep going. And I try to motivate you guys and motivate myself while we're going through this as well, because all these live streams always make me feel fantabulous as well. So we're gonna get started. The first note: Babystep Millionaires by Dave Ramsey for today. No matter whatever situation you were in, you have precisely what you want because you have created it. Now, I know there are a lot of people who will question that and say that, well, no, I didn't create getting cancer, or I didn't create the bad job market, or I didn't create the difficulty or the breaks that I've been getting in life. I get that. But that's a defeatist attitude. If that is the thing that you're focusing on, you're in trouble. We all could focus on the bad, and that becomes our reality. So I could focus on my bad back. I could focus on my bad shoulders, my bad knees. I could focus on problems at work. I could focus on difficulties I'm having with my business, break diving. I could focus on why isn't my YouTube and TikTok blowing up with millions of subscribers. We could do that. But there's that expression, you've got to accentuate the positive, right? And that's what he's saying here. No matter what your situation, you have precisely what you want because you created it. And again, he's talking about money. Whatever financial situation you're in right now, you created it. And if it's good, you created it. If it's bad, you created it. But this is empowering. This is good news, because if you've created the financial situation that you're in, or whatever life situation you're in, the job that you have, the relationship that you have, whatever. If you created the situation you're in, guess what? You can create yourself out of that situation. And that's what he's saying here. No matter what situation you're in, you have precisely what you want. And so I'm asking all of you to really think about, is the current situation that you are in, is it what you want? Is it 100% the situation that you dream of? Or do you want to make changes and do something differently? Because you have the power to create the future that you have tomorrow. I'll take a few comments before I go on. What's up, AJ? How are you? How you doing, Ali Muhammad? CC is here. Ali wants me to listen. CC wants to move on from his crush. It says, hey, Monroe, you have something on your hair. All right, right there. Thanks. It's funny. I just took a shower, and I think it's a little fuzz from the towel. And CC says, I need to move on from my crush. I mean, it's the same exact advice. No matter what situation you're in, you have precisely what you want. You've created it. So if you're miserable because you're grieving or heartbreak from the loss of your crush, partly it's because you're focusing on that. Partly it's because it just sucks. It's a terrible feeling, and you got to power through it and try to. But what do we got to do? We got to focus on the positive. It's only 2 months since I've lost my mom. It's still hard, but I can either wallow in misery or I can try to move forward. And I know that my mom would want me to remember her with fond memories and continue to do YouTube Live, continue to do TikTok Live, continue to work on my company, Breakdiving. It's still pissing me off that none of you have downloaded the break diving app and submitted an application. AJ, CC, you guys should join. Come and join break diving. Download the break diving mobile app on the App Store, BREAKDIVING. Liam says, I'm at the same percent as many viewers you got. You're awesome, Liam. You and I, we are TikTok's new #1 live streamers. So anyway, Cece, I told you, look, I'm still haven't 100% gotten over what happened in 2012 with this girl. And as somebody told me, I said, what's going to happen, Mom? They said, you'll never get over the loss of your mom, Monroe. You're just going to have to grow into the new reality. Boogie Band says, what's the app about? So it's a not-for-profit. I have a PhD in psychology. I got sick of all the social media that's all about selling user data and comparing everybody, making everyone feel miserable. So I created a more positive social media where we actually meet in person. We have online events as well. It's called Break Diving. Don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. You want to dive in and make your own big breaks in life. And we got people all over the world. Would love to have you join us, Boogie. Love to have you join us, AJ, CC, Skipper. And Skipper is asking, do I have German relatives? Probably because my last name is Mann, M-A-N-N. My father was Russian Jewish, and his family's name, he died when he was 95. He was born in 1922, so he came over here right after the Russian Revolution, or his parents did. And their name was Minyevich, M-A-N-E-V-I-T-Z, or W-I-T-Z, Minyevich. So I'm Russian Jewish, but on part of my dad's side, there's also Austrian. So I think they switched it to Mann, M-A-N-N, because it's sort of part of what we are, Austrian, but technically I have a Russian Jewish last name, Monroe Mann. All right, Jossie loves my eyes. You can't really see him very much, Jossie. Can you see my eyes, Jossie? I guess, you know what? You can actually see them more on TikTok, but it's a little brighter than on YouTube. Thanks, Dacky, for liking the live. Someone, 123 wants me to fix my hoodie strings. It's distracting me from your story. Well, this is intentional. It's not. This is intentional to show you this is what life is. 12345 on TikTok wants life to be like this. Well, look, now it went up the other way. But that's exactly what life is. You try to make it perfect. You try to make everything even and put everything. It's not what life is. Life is a pain in the butt. And just as you think that you're starting to get a grasp on things, just as you think you're starting to gain control over the situation, boom, it goes like this. And you're like, why do I have this string that's really long over here, and why do I have this short one over here? And then you're like, okay, I'm going to even it out. I'm going to even it out. And then, whoa. And we're in this constant struggle because we're trying to make it go like this. You know, there's a great book. Isn't that funny? Look at that. Look at that. You think it's all even, right? And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to make it even. And, oh, I finally did it. Look at that. So the lesson there is patience pays off, ladies and gentlemen. Let me look at some comments here. What's up, Freddie Sawyer? Freddie Sawyer, where the heck have you been? And why are you on TikTok and not on YouTube? That's what I'd like to know. And let me see, we got some. 123 says, good segue. Keep vibing, bro. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Follow me on YouTube. Help me become huge. Okay. AJ, your information's not going to get captured. Breakdiving is a closed community. You have to apply to get in. Part of our terms of services, we will never sell user data. We will never send targeted advertising based on your user data. And no advertisers are ever going to get your information. No one will get your information. So it's safe with us. Download the Breakdiving mobile app. My favorite fruit is probably banana or raspberries. All right, moving forward. So C.S. Lewis, he's the author of Mere Christianity, also the Chronicles of Narnia. Dave Ramsey quotes him in his book, Babystep, Millionaires, and he says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And I think that's wonderful because it applies to everything. It's not only your finances. You can't go, I'm 48. Donald Trump just created these thing called Trump accounts. If you have kids and they're under 10 years old, sign them up for a Trump account right now. What is it? And who is financing it is Michael Dell and his wife, and they're billionaires. Basically, if you sign up for a Trump account for your kid, they're going to put money into an investment account right now. And then you can put up to like $5,000 every year into it. And it's invested into probably the S&P 500 and stuff like that. By the time these kids are 25, if the parents put in $5,000 a year, guess what? It's $1 million. It's $1 million. So these kids who create a Trump account will likely be millionaires by the time they're 25 years old. And it's because of their parents taking control. I wish I could go back, and they had these Trump accounts when I was a kid, and my parents set one up, and boom, by the age of 25, I'd be a millionaire. Maybe some of you are older too, older than 15, 16. And you're like, well, I can't start a Trump account. No, but you can start right now, and you can create an investment account. I only started investing when I really got back from China in 2016. And that's when I was really started, boom, boom, boom. And I've come a long way in just about 10 years. But wow, imagine if I'd started when I was 28. Imagine if I'd started when I was 18. Imagine if I'd started when I was 8. So again, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. This applies to you too, Cece, with your heartbreak of this girl that doesn't dig you. You can't go back and convince her to like you. Maybe you can. Maybe you can, but in my experience, those movies, fairy tale endings where you just keep being persistent and then suddenly they change their mind and they fall on head over heels for you, probably not going to happen. So you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. As you guys know, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a filmmaker, and I always like that analogy that you are the author of your own book or you're the writer of your own screenplay. And if things are going crappy for you right now, if things are not going the way you want, what's up, Olivia? How are you? What's up, Gunner? I'll answer your question in a second. Same thing on YouTube. I don't even know what the heck I was saying. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Oh yeah, about the screenplay. If things are going poorly for you in your life right now, or you're miserable, and you guys know that I struggle with depression and just confusion in general with life and all that. But I have to remind myself, we are not at the end of the screenplay. We're in the middle. We're in the part. We're at the end of Act 2 where everything falls apart. And that happens everything. It's always like Act 1 is boy meets girl. Act 2 is boy falls in love with girl and then gets dumped by girl. And then Act 3 is that fairy tale ending. Boy turns it around and she's back in his life again. If you're feeling miserable, we're at the end of Act 2. Gunnar says, what are some shows you screenplay? The most successful was You Can't Kill Stephen King. So you can find it on YouTube Movies. You could find it on Vudu. It's free on a lot of places too, on Tubi maybe. So you can check that out. Let me look at some of the comments on YouTube Ski. And Mr. Pilata, you look like a cross-dresser. I'm only a cross-dresser when I'm really upset while I'm dressing. Then I'd be a cross-dresser. You get it? How you doing, Funk Congress? What's up, Pilad, Jeremiah, Share Bear? That's right. Pray to God. Share Bear is 47. What's up, Sleepy Time? American Roadrunner. Why does everybody change their names on YouTube? You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Let's see what else. Sleepy Time is 59 years old, very young. Nightmare says, I broke my own sister's leg over McDonald's, and now she won't talk to me anymore. What do you mean? Like you were arguing over McDonald's and then you decided to just randomly break your sister's leg? That's kind of weird. And AJ says, I listened to you and I'm now investing in the S&P 500. I think that's a smart move. I think that's a smart move. Boogie says, I read the thing and no head, I don't think it's fair. Boogie, it's not for everybody. That's fine. We only want people there who want to be there. It's a very unique community. And let's see. Richard Davis, are you involved in local politics? I am not. AJ says, I do struggle with depression as well. I don't know if I told you, but I used to have a brain tumor. Yeah, AJ, you told me that. And that's why I applaud you even more for pushing forward. As it says, look, you can't go back and change the beginning. That's what C.S. Lewis said. You can't go back and not have a brain tumor. And I can't go back and make better decisions with investments from decades ago. I can't go back and change the way things worked out with certain girls I was dating. I can't go back and say anything to my mom and dad, except for the fact that I can look up and talk to them directly because I'm hoping they're both in heaven. But what we can do is say, okay, here I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I got. This is the situation I'm in. Where can I go from here? And by the way, Boogie, if you like what I'm saying here, then you will like breakdiving. It's basically a social media of me and my personality and stuff like that. So you'd probably like it. Let me see here. Okay. AJ, let's see. Real Term says cats are descendants of great white sharks. I don't believe in evolution, by the way. I think the theory of evolution is just that, a theory, and it's a bum theory as far as I'm concerned. They have never proven it. Never. And anyone who says that evolution has been proven is wrong, because it hasn't been. So, anyway. Okay. Google says, my boy's hairline is in a recession. It's not in a recession, it's a depression. Why? Because a recession is short term. Depression is long term. And this hairline has been a long-term issue for the last 10 years. But you know what? I did start a savings account and I'm putting money in every month. And when it gets up to $3,000, I'm flying down to Dominican Republic and maybe I'll have a little hair transplant. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have a little YouTube live about that. That would be interesting. Okay, next one. Remember, we're talking about Babystep Millionaires, the book by Dave Ramsey, and I took notes on it, as I usually do. I call this Rose Reads, and we're just going through some of the notes that I took. From Proverbs, he quotes the Bible. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. That's like the essence of what Babystep Millionaires is. Get it? Baby steps. And the idea is just slowly, little by little, try to increase your wealth. Don't try to, and this is the biggest problem with, I think, people with investing. And I had the same problem many, many years ago. And I would say, what's the point of investing $2 every month if that's all I can afford? That's going to be, at the end of the year, $24 invested. It's not the point. The point is that you want to start developing the attitudes of an investor. You want to start having the mentality of somebody who regularly takes money that you've earned and invests it into your future. And that's why it needs to be baby step by baby step by baby step. And once you get in the habit of doing $2 a month, guess what? You know what? I'll up that to $3. You know what? Let's do $5. You know what? Let's get saucy. Let's do $25 a month. And then let's do $50 a month. It all adds up. And at the end of the year, you're like, oh my gosh, I've saved a lot of money. I've invested a lot of money. And Boogie bands, just so you know, it's on the web too. It's on breakdiving.io. So if you're at your computer, you can do that too. Maybe it's the same thing, but if any of you are interested, you can check out breakdiving.io. You can also download our breakdiving mobile app online. AJ says, let's see. Let me see more comments here. Yeah, bad news, sleepy time. On December 17th, mommy went to heaven. And yeah, it's for anyone who hasn't lost your parent, your mother, or whichever parent is closest to you. It's usually your mom. Brace yourself, because it's going to be a tough 2 months. But I will tell you that it gets easier. And just as people told me, it's like you start to replace the grief and the crying with fond memories and smiles, thinking about them, about your mom. And I was reading this book, The Case for Heaven, which really helped solidify my belief in God and the fact that my mom is in heaven. Because if she's not, then literally there is no purpose in life whatsoever. And so I had to read that book to kind of rebolster my faith. But now I realize, hey, when I die, I'll see my mom again. And if your mom or dad is not here, guess what? When you die, you'll see him again. Boogie Ben says, I lost my dad at 7, so I get it. It sucks. I can't even imagine. It's hard enough at 48. I don't know how. I don't think you can really compare. Both of them stink. I mean, at 48, I had so many more years with my mom. So it was even harder to lose her because 48 years of my life was with my mom. And I spent the last 6 years caring for her. She had Alzheimer's. But at the same time, boogie bands, losing a parent at 7 years old, how can any of us understand that? I mean, what the heck? You're 7 years old, your brain isn't developed, and there's your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, where's mom? Where's mom? She's gone. I can't comprehend it, and I'm an adult with a rational, logical mind. But a 7-year-old kid must have been super, super tough. And Boogie Band says, yeah, you can't. Cambry says, Mark Zuckerberg. I wish you're as successful as Mark Zuckerberg. One day, maybe I will, if you follow me on TikTok and if you follow me here on YouTube. By the way, feel free to give me a super chat. 2 days ago, I made $5 on YouTube. I made $3 on TikTok. So thanks for sending the little gifts of support. Thank you for sending the stickers or the super chats, whatever. Always appreciate it. And if not, I love you anyway. Moving on. Another quotation he shares from someone named Beverly Sills. There's no shortcut to any place worth going. Think about that. All right, later, boogie bands. See you later. Somebody just said, you're cute. By the way, I'm a furry femboy. So I've got a new crush, and that crush is crushing on me, and it's a furry femboy. I don't know what to think about that, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Mark says, you've got more hair than my nephew, and he's 20. There you go. See, the grass is always greener. The sun is always shining somewhere. Thanks, Sleepy Time. And you're right, Mark. Yeah, Mark Travis. We should teach teenagers about LLCs and how to protect assets. We should teach kids about a lot of things that we don't. And what's up, Cody? 20 years old. Hang 10, my friend. DCA has a tendency to produce bad returns. I don't know what DCA is, Google. Is that a fund? DCA? It's the first time I'm hearing that. Glad you have internet again, Sleepy. How can you not have internet since last year? I'm not criticizing you or insulting you. I'm just very curious. In this day and age, what happened that you haven't had internet for a year? Sleepy Time. My father passed December 17th, 2017. Wow. So my mom and your dad passed on the same day. How many years different? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 9 years difference. Oh man, December 17th. It's a tough year. It's a tough year. I mean, a tough day. Um, Jay says my mom is definitely not in heaven. She was a bad person and not Christian. But here's the thing, Jay. Nobody knows. Not one of us has been to heaven, talked to God, and knows exactly how he determines he or she, don't be offended, what the criteria are. It says in the Bible this and that, but who knows? And AJ says, I'm crying a little because I don't want to lose my mom, even though it's going to happen. AJ, I did that too. I cried about my mom before I even. What's up, Lori Renee? Hi. I mean, I cried about losing my mom like 10 years ago. And then I forced myself, I reminded myself, stop thinking about something that hasn't happened yet. And when my mom did die, and it's weird. It's weird when it's weird when your loved one dies at first, you say she passed. She went to heaven, this, that, and it's weird. And I could not say the word she died. And 2 months later, I'm able to start saying that she died. And I just realized that it creates distance. And I feel that's a good thing when you can start to say she died. You're kind of becoming a little bit more comfortable with it. There's a quotation somebody sent me, or I read somewhere online, that said, your mother will teach you everything about life except how to live without her. And in many ways, that's very true. It's really hard to live without my mom. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But at the same time, my mom taught me so many wonderful things. She was the one who got me into gold. For years, she kept saying, we got to buy gold. We got to buy gold. Monroe, you got to buy gold. I could buy gold. And what did I eventually do? I said, you know what? She keeps talking about gold. Let me do some more research. Let me do this. And then I started buying gold. And I started helping my mom to buy gold. And it was a wonderful investment. And she taught me to buy gold. And then because of that, I thought, let me look at silver. Let me look at platinum. Let me look at palladium. And wow, precious metals. And so my mom has taught me in many ways how to live without her, because she was a great mom and she taught me really well. But it's hard to live without her, if that makes sense. More comments. Sleepy Time says, I watched my brother take his last breath in 2009, saw my dad take his last breath in 2017, and watched my mom in 2020. It's a horrible thing. And you know what's so weird? Is until it happens and you lose both of your parents, you don't really think about it. And yet you realize probably half the people in your life don't have a mom and a dad. It's so weird. And that's so weird. Oh, you know what? I meet some people who don't have their mom and dad, and they go, yeah, I'm an orphan. And like, you're 50 years old. You're not an orphan. And like an orphan, I think by definition, an orphan needs to be a minor. I'm a lawyer, and I'm declaring that orphan is under 18 and has lost both parents. Not 45 years old. No, you're not an orphan. You're not an orphan at 70 years old. That's just silly. What's up? Lori Renee says, hey, guy. Lori Renee says, mom and dads are priceless. Yeah, they are. Your mom and dads are priceless. And you know what's funny? Every little thing that well, there's that song, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. You don't realize what you've got until it's gone. And so, I mean, I remember, of course, when my mom was alive, caring for someone with Alzheimer's, sometimes she just annoyed me so much. And it was so difficult. And she's yelling at me, or she's accusing, she's saying that there are thieves constantly coming into her apartment. And She's blah, blah, blah. She invites me out to lunch. I say, okay, I'll be over there in 5 minutes. Then I go over and she goes, what are you talking about? I'm not going to lunch. I just ate. I'm like, Ma. And yet, if I could go back and have her rewrite now and have her do all those crazy things with her bad memory, I would love it. I would love to have her yell at me right now. I would love to have her tell me that somebody is stealing her. We my mom had a Roku TV, and now I live in her apartment, and she would always lose the Roku remote controls, and I would always go on Amazon and I could buy 2 new Roku remote controls, and she would always hide them because that's what Alzheimer's people with dementia do. They think people are stealing, so then they hide things so that the thieves don't find it, and then they forget where they hid them. I had to keep buying them because my mom kept hiding them. I didn't know where they were. After she passed on, I obviously went through all of her stuff. I found about 18 Roku remote controls. And right now, I'm going to look. It's really cool because I've got a remote control everywhere in the apartment. I've got one in the kitchen, 1, 2 on the desk, 2 on the desk, 2, 3, 4. I have one on the couch, 5, 1 by the chair, 6. I am the ultimate couch potato now because I don't have to get up. Wherever I go, there's a Roku remote control. All right, moving on. Oh, but going back to what Beverly Sills said, there's no shortcut to any place worth going. This YouTube journey has been really long. You guys know that. I started in 2006. It's already 2026. It's been more than 20 years now. TikTok, I've only got 250 or something followers. It's brutal, but there's no shortcut to any place worth going. You can't go on the internet and buy views. Doesn't work. You can't buy subscribers. Doesn't work. There are no shortcuts to anything in life. You don't just go out and buy $1 million investment portfolio. You've got to work hard at it. You don't just go out and get a girlfriend. It's annoying to me when people say to me, Monroe, I say, oh, I'm so lonely. My mom's gone, and I don't really have super close friends. Like, Monroe, you need to go out and get a girlfriend. I just need to go out and get a girlfriend. It's like, you need to go out and buy a banana. Like that's what people say. You need to go out and buy a banana. Oh, okay, cool. Let me go buy a banana. You know what you need, Monroe? You need to go drink a sip of water. You know what? Let me sip. Let me have a sip of water, and easy. But look at Dancer. It's okay. Where's the dog? I have no idea where the dog is. I just heard her barking. But there's no shortcut to any place worth going, and I want you to remember that. Sleepy Time says, ran out of cash, couldn't pay bill for the internet. And guys, that happens. That happens. Hi, Dancer. Good doggy. Come here. Hold on. Come here. Get away. Okay. There's Dancer. We've got a co-host right now. I'm sorry to hear that your family ran out of money and you couldn't pay the internet bill. This is. Do you smell, Dancer? I hope you didn't go poopy on the rug. If she went poopy on the rug, I'm gonna be really upset. How did that happen, if you don't mind sharing? What happened that resulted in you guys running out of money? Did one of you lose your jobs? Did you not have a savings account, an emergency fund? Because obviously we want to make sure that doesn't happen again. Don't want to lose you. It's been too long. Haven't seen you forever. Naya, you're a naughty girl. Naya's saying naughty things over here. AJ said, we've got U.S. Marine Corps. Hoorah! The sooner you accept death, the sooner you can live your life. Yes and no. I was in Iraq with the army in 2005 and stuff, and I accept death, but it hasn't helped me to live my life more. AJ says you inspire me to read books every day. That's cool. Congratulations, AJ. Keep reading every day. I mentioned a friend who had got married and at first things went smooth, and after a while he's stressed out. It was a different life. I don't remember, AJ. Sleep time, we love you. I love you guys too. Real Term says, I counted your claim of fact, but you chose not to read it. I don't know what you're talking about, Real Term. I didn't, and that's what, what's pissing me off about like some of the people who are watching on YouTube. They think that the hosts just ignore comments, and it's like half the time I don't see them because they got censored by YouTube. Sometimes they just don't get posted. There is a known bug right now. I just got a message on the YouTube dashboard that comments are not showing up. So before you make accusations, Real Term, you should verify and do your investigation first before insulting people. And let's see. Derek says, why would you need that many? I don't need that many, but I just have them because my mom bought them all. Let's see. Wrong stream. Okay, there we go. What else have we got? What's up, Nina? Holy Mr. What? I'm not Holy Mr. What. I'm just Mr. Man. Okay. Next. So one of his suggestions, he is Dave Ramsey in Babystep Millionaires. He says, create a good Airbnb vacation home and you can make a lot of money with it. That's true, but I will say be careful. So I owned an Airbnb with my mom for about a year up in Maine. And I will tell you, it's not the easy, magical yellow brick road to wealth that you may think it is or that you've heard it is. It's just as difficult as any other way that you are trying to earn money. Why didn't it work out for us up in Maine? One, it was long distance. It was really far away. It was like 1,300 miles away from where we were in Florida. It was hard to manage. It did really well in the winter. It did really poorly in the fall and the spring. You got to there are so many different variables to make sure that an Airbnb is successful. If you do want to do an Airbnb, here is my advice. And this applies to me if I do an Airbnb again. Do it in the same city in which you live. Make sure that it's in a place that has yearly high demand, meaning there is no off season. It has to be a place where they're going to rent all the time. An example would be potentially Miami Beach, Florida, potentially New York City. But again, all these places are difficult because there are a lot of Airbnb restrictions. But you want to be there and learn and be able to do it hands-on until you get the full hang of it. And then maybe you could hire a manager. Make sure it's profitable first. Then you could hire somebody to manage it, and then maybe you could go elsewhere. But I don't recommend a long-distance Airbnb as your first Airbnb. What's up, Em? How are you? Nice to see you here on TikTok. Next, he says, max out your Roth IRA every year. That's an ideal. I mean, for the Roth IRA, I think it used to be like 6,500. I think it's gone up to 7,000 something or other right now. If you can, great. But I'm also of the. Remember that book I recommend it all the time, Die with Zero and Die Broke. Don't put so much money into your retirement account that you're not living your life today. And I think too many people live for tomorrow and are saving up so much money, but they're not using any of it. Now, again, 90% of people are spendthrifts. They save up no money, they invest no money, and they overspend every single month. That's the other opposite spectrum that is not good. But you got to find that balance between, okay, I'm going to save up for the future, but I'm also going to live for today. You got to put those both together. More comments. No, I'm not going to do a March Madness bracket, Welder. Sleepy Time says my wife is disabled. She has Lewy body dementia. Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that. I got hurt in 2018 moving big rolling to by myself after my dad passed. 100%. I know the brutal costs of caring for somebody, caring for a family member. So I'm hoping that 2026 is better for you and your wife as best as can be possible. Let's see. Sleepy says, I can't work much, but do work DoorDash sometimes. We had to drop internet for a while now. I filed for disability because I'm not getting any better. Well, I hope the disability comes through, and I'm wishing you better. Hi, Plant Man. Yeah, amen, Sleepy Time. What's up, Kaylin? How are you? AI. No, it says, yeah, we were talking about Airbnb, if it's a good investment. Now we're moving on to, pay off your mortgage faster if you can. This is something that I 100% agree with. And one of the investment properties in Florida has a mortgage. There's no way I'm just paying the monthly minimum. Every month I put extra money towards the mortgage because that extra money goes immediately towards equity. And that money means that you own more of the house and your assets then increase. If you pay an extra, even if it's just $50 a month, that means it's a $50 every single month more that you own of the house or the condo. Okay. This is a good one. Again, we're talking about Babystep Millionaires by Dave Ramsey. Do not give any allowances to kids if the chores are not done. So make sure their allowance is on commission. And this applies to you as well. You should put yourself on commission. You don't get an allowance every month, meaning you don't get to treat yourself every week to Starbucks or massage or a Nintendo or whatever. No, you should reward yourself when you've done something important. Like, for example, I want to get a Nintendo Switch. I'm just saving $40 a week until I get there. And even though technically I could have probably just buy it right now, no, I want to feel like I am earning it. And so when I get to the $500, which is about how much the Mario Kart bundle costs, great. Then I will buy a Nintendo Switch too. But too many people just reward themselves. There's that horrible song by what's up, Brother Turn? There's that song by, what the heck is her name? She was in the movie Wicked. Not Selena Gomez. Do you guys remember what her name is? Anyway, whoever that is, she has a song. I want it. I look at it. I get it. I buy it, or whatever. I don't remember. Oh, Ariana Grande. And I hate listening to that song. It was on the radio. It was a few years ago all the time. I'm glad it's not anymore, but it's such a terrible advice. It's terrible investment advice. It's terrible for your soul. Do not live by, I see it, I want it, I buy it, I get it. Those are not the real lyrics, but the concept is the same. No, it should be like, I see it, I want it, I consider whether I really want it, I save up money for it, I wait a month, I talk to my friends, I decide if I can live without it, and then after 2 months, if I still want it, maybe I'll consider getting it, and then maybe I'll see if I can get a used version, or maybe I can get a copy at the library, or maybe, like, I don't think I'll ever buy a new car again, because why? You buy a $25,000 car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's now worth $20,000. It loses $5,000 of value immediately. What you should do is buy a used car that has only 2,000 miles on it. You get a brand new car, but you're going to save about $5,000-$6,000. That's good investment advice. Dave Ramsey says 45% of Americans have less than $1,000 saved for an emergency. It's pretty sad. It's pretty true. And this applies. This is crazy. It applies to people who even make six figures. I have friends who make more than $100,000 a year and they are in financial difficulty. Think about that. That's just crazy. How can you be making more than $100,000 a year and be having financial problems? Granted, maybe you had financial problems before and you're just, but with you're making $100,000 a year, you shouldn't have less than $1,000 saved for emergency. Somebody gave a comment on my YouTube the other day. I see these comments and questions. I'll answer them in a second about taxes and about Toyota Corollas and all that. And someone said, like, oh, it's easy for you to talk about 3 to 6 months of expenses if because you've got a six-figure job. I was unemployed for 18 months and I still had massive savings because I'm always savings. I'm saving all the time. And I saved like years ago so that when I was unemployed for a year and a half, it wasn't a disaster. And just because you can't save 3 to 6 months, you're going to just not save at all? Try to save 3 to 6 days worth of expenses. How much does it cost per day for you to live? How about save up 6 days worth so that if you lose your job, you can survive for 6 days at least. And then move it up to 7 days. And then, wow, now I've got 14 days worth of expenses. And move up to getting up towards 1 month. Again, the name of the book, Babystep Millionaires. And that's what I'm trying to urge you to do is take small psychological steps. Having 7 days worth of expenses saved up is better than 0. Let me look at comments. And Boogie Bands is still here. What about buying a truck and writing it all as a work truck in your taxes? Yeah, that's fine. That's really good. It's a good strategy. Gavin says, happy birthday, my friend. I'm not going to say that. You're a real BASTARD, Gavin. Okay, Gavin, you're going to get blocked from the channel. Okay, there we go. All right, yep. Guess what? Gavin is blocked from my TikTok. Awesome. And looking on YouTube, look at these comments here. Mens Reyes says, what? My favorite flavor of sausage? I actually don't like sausage. I think it's a disgusting food. Actus Reyes says, I drive a $3,000 Toyota Corolla 2004. That's fantastic. I drive a 2009 Jeep Wrangler. I think it's worth about maybe $4,000. And it's fine. As long as the thing keeps running, I'm going with it. Cosmo drives a 2004 Honda Civic. That's fantastic. And Egypt says, yeah, they live outside of their means. And that's the problem. The key issue is you have to stop trying to impress other people. I have zero interest in impressing anybody. I have zero impression of impressing you on YouTube, you guys on TikTok. I don't care. It's why I'm able to accept all the criticisms that I get from people on the live stream. I couldn't care less what any of you think of me. And that's the way it should be. Now, deep down, okay, do I care? Of course. But not so much that it's going to keep me from pushing forward. Thanks, Robespierre says I'm handsome. Egypt says I struggle, make it by with less than $30,000 a year, no savings, but I get by. Can I tell you this, Egypt? Even with $30,000 a year, you can save $5 a month. $5 a month. And at the end of the year, I know it sounds silly, you've got $60, but you know what? That $60 saved up is probably more than a lot of people have. And then all of a sudden you go, wow, I got $60. All right, let's get up to $200. You know what? Let's get up to $500. And try to figure out what can you do to make a little bit more money. I have this six-figure job now, but I still do tutoring. I still do Upwork. I'll make $50 here. I'll make $300 there. I'll make $75 here. that stuff all adds up. And guess what? It can either go to living expenses, it can go into savings, it can go to investments. You guys can figure out a way to make. I even make money from YouTube. I don't make money as much as I used to, but I make about maybe $25 a month between YouTube and TikTok. That adds up. What is that? That's $100 at the end of 4 months. So that's $300 a year for doing something fun, just talking to you guys here on TikTok and YouTube. Sleepy Time says, I have a 2002 Harley Davidson, a 2004 4x4 truck, and a 2018 Nissan. Awesome. Egypt's got a 2006 Hyundai Tucson. Hi, Angel. How are you? Someone's jealous of my Jeep. The only person I try to impress is the woman I'm talking to right now. I'm not a woman. So, just so you know. Actus Reyes says, the $5 a week, that's very possible. That's what I'm telling you. The key to saving up money and becoming an investor is not putting $1,000 a week. It's to just getting into the habit of spending less money than you earn. And all of these apps, you can have it automatically. Like as soon as you get paid, it takes $5 out. Or you can set it up where it's $5 a week. You will never see it and you will never miss the money. And then at the end of the month, you just open the account and go, oh my gosh, wow. I can't believe it. Things are growing. Things are growing. And I got more money. I've got a nice safety net. I've got some extra money in the S&P 500. All right. See what if there are any comments. I don't have my license. The hoodie looks so comfy. Let's see. Ronnie wanted to remind me about the Alamo. That's right. We got to remember the Alamo. Can never forget the Alamo, Ronnie. All right, we're going to do a few more quotations from Babystep Millionaires, and I'm going to get ready to head off to bed soon. Here he says, equal is unfair because effort is never equal. And that's a economic statement as well. This whole idea of equity doesn't make sense. You know, Karl Marx once said, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. But that's kind of uncool because it means the people who work hard are going to have to provide for the people who are lazy. And I'm not talking about the people who cannot work. I'm talking about the people who will not work. And same thing applies to life. You can't have equal results. And I talked about the other day, sometimes no matter, you put in 5,000% more effort than the guy next door, and somehow the next guy next door who's lazy ends up becoming more successful than you and making more money and gets the girl, and you're like, why is this happening? You can't compare yourself to those people. You can't compare yourself to the anomaly. You can't compare yourself to the outlier. Later, Boogie Bands. Is Boogie Bands on both YouTube and TikTok? Boogie Bands is on YouTube and TikTok. Thank you. It doesn't mean you shouldn't put forth effort. It doesn't mean you should give up. It just means stop comparing you to other people. Everyone has his or her own journey. Would I like to have as many subscribers as Mr. Beast? Yes. But would I like to be Mr. Beast? No. Would I like to be as successful as Tom Cruise? Yes. But would I like to be Tom Cruise? No. And the truth is, it's like, you know, could I be more attractive? Sure. Do I want to be? Not if it's going to make me somebody else. I'm proud of who I am and hairline and all, whatever it may be. So next, oh yeah. He's the one that recommended this book, The 10 Commandments of Making Money. I think that's what I have. Do I have that book here? Hold on. No. I have another book called Thou Shalt Prosper. But I'll have to check that and see if that book, I have to find that book, The 10 Commandments for Making Money. Maybe I'm going to add that to my list, and I will maybe do a Rose Reads about that one of these days. Last three bits of notes from Dave Ramsey's book, Babystep Millionaires. Choose hope over fear and anger. Choose to move forward and take control of your circumstances and your money. Oh, this is interesting. He says, when people ask, how are you doing? Answer, better than I deserve, because without Jesus, we are nothing. And he ends with, find a good church to go to. So that is interesting. When people ask, how are you doing? Answer, better than I deserve. Think about that. How are you doing? Better than I deserve. And that should apply to all of us. Let me look at the final notes here on both of these. Eli says, do you have advice for someone who just gambled all their baby mama's money away? Yeah, Eli, I would give you the same advice that I gave AJ when he had his gambling problem, which is put your money instead into the S&P 500 for the future and save money. Don't invest, don't gamble it. And what do you do now that you gamble all the money away? Get a job, start working your butt off, and repay your debts. I hated the way Game of Thrones ended, but it had some of the best characters in seasons 1 through 7, and one of them was Tyrion Lannister, and he always said, a Lannister always pays his debts. And I would say that to all of you. If you borrow money from somebody, pay that person back. If someone does you a favor and you told them that you'll get them, don't forget, repay the debt. Repay the debts always. And Maya says, me too. I don't know what Maya is talking about, but if you can clarify, Maya, I'll let you know. Let me see on YouTube, any comments? Do you know the Muffin Man? I do not. Is this an AA meeting? It is. Awesome Adventurers. This is an Awesome Adventurers meeting, AA. Angel said, I was in the hospital. How are you doing? Why are you calling me Rose Reads? My name is Monroe, Angel. You know that. She writes on YouTube, I was fine. I was in the hospital, Rose Reads. How are you today, Rose Reads? Thanks for subbing, Boogie Bands. AG says, every time I think about quitting, I always remember why I started. That's a very good quotation. Yeah, you can't compare yourself to others. Egypt says you're attractive. Personality is 90% of the battle. You're winning. Yes. 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 AJ says, I quit gambling. It's bad. I'm glad you did that. It was bringing you down. Egypt says, gambling is fine, but not if you're spending all of the money that you need for survival. You didn't take the money for your baby's mom. You denied that money to your child directly. Yeah, that's good. Did you hear that, Eli? Well, I think Eli left on TikTok. It says there's 0 people watching now. Oh, there's one person. One person came back. One person. The YouTube and TikTok algorithms are so weird. 2 days ago when I did this, I had like 45 people on YouTube and 9 people on TikTok. And today, 5 people on YouTube and 2 people on TikTok. It's very fickle. Trying to change your habits. And Cha-Cha Robinson. Repay the debts. That's right. A Cha-Cha Robinson always repays her debts. Am I right or am I right? What's up, hey? Thanks for sending a rose. What's up, Kayla? How you doing? Good to have you here. AJ on YouTube says, are you done reading that marketing book, Be Different? No, it's not Be Different. What is it? I forget the name of it. No, I'm about a quarter of the way through it, and I'm about halfway through with the Let Them book. And when I'm done, I'll let you guys know. Is it better to what? Hey, you are writing incomplete sentence fragments, and it's very hard to answer sentence fragments. Yeah, Rose Reads is the name. You know, my nickname is Ro, and it's Rose Reads. It's the books that Monroe was reading. What's up, Coco? What's up, Coco? All right, guys. Yeah, Egypt says everything in moderation. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So anyway, we're done with page 1 of my notes for Babystep Millionaires. We're going to move on to page 2 of my notes the next time. And we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. Hope this was inspiring for you. Hoping you had a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you to guys on TikTok. Hope you guys will follow me. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye. We got the TikTok song again. That means we got 1 rose. Got 410 viewers, 1 gifter, 69 comments, and that's it. So I didn't get any new subscribers there, but I think I got some new subscribers on this live stream. Whoop. Okay, and let me look here on YouTube. Elbow Juice says, good night, Pookie. Oh, good night to you, Pookie. Good night to you, Pookie. Angel says, bye. Cha-Cha says, thank you. You're welcome, Cha-Cha. AJ says, I usually finish one, then I'm on to the next. I don't know what you mean. You finish one and then you're on to the next. Finish what, AJ? Egypt, thank you for subscribing. Turn on notifications because subscribing alone is not going to allow you to find me again. Thanks, Elbow Juice. Thanks for the smile. And AJ says, good night, Monroe. Hope to see you again soon. Cha-Cha says, I will sub now. That would be fantastic. Would love you to sub now. Thank you so much. Sweet dreams to you, Egypt. Books, good. Ladies and Pip Maple. G'day. Hello, Governor. It's good to have you here. It's been a long time. It's really nice to see you, Pip Maple. And I hope things are going well for you in England. And I hope all of you had a nice time here on the live stream. I certainly did. It was a lot of fun. It always cheers me up to be with. It always cheers me up to be with you guys. I hope it cheers you up to be with me and the fellow members of the Roman Empire. As a reminder, please download my app on the App Store or Google Play. Breakdiving, BREAKDIVING. Don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. Dive in and make your own. If you like this live stream and my personality, that's what breakdiving is. Please come and join. I guarantee you guys would like it. You'd make a lot of friends. You get a lot of support for your dreams. That's right, AJ. I'm YouTube's #1 live streamer. We got 15 likes, which is the silver medal on the YouTube live stream Olympics. And sweet dreams, safe travels, Egypt. Yes, my travels tonight will be to take the DOGOUT and then into the land of the sand. Okay. Bye, guys. We'll see you later.